Eleanor Madame Mirage believed a villain's greatest power was timing. That applied as much to a daring mid-air museum heist as it did to opening folding tables behind Our Lady of Perpetual Help Parish on a sun-kissed Saturday morning. The early birds drifted across the blacktop, following the swirl of cinnamon, butter, and very faint ozone that rose from Corsa's first annual community bake sale. Corsa, the cordial order of Retired Scoundrels Anonymous, had convened in secrecy for 6 years. They met every third Thursday in a windowless bingo hall, drank bad decaf, and swore in unison they were absolutely, definitively, forever finished with villainy. Reputations, however, took longer to retire than membership dues. Children still crossed streets when they saw Dr. Volta's white streak of hair or caught Granite Jack lurched over a bag of cement at Home Depot. Everyone still blamed Madame Mirage for any suspicious flicker of light, certain it was a glamour meant to distract them while she pilfered their wallets. So Corsa decided, by unanimous vote and one dramatic slam of Granite Jack's gravelly fist, to pursue image rehabilitation through wholesome domesticity. Translation: they would charm the community with baked goods until the past looked like distant smoke. Dr. Volta, real name, Ignacio Voltare, called dibs on electronics. His portable induction stove sizzled beside a loopy neon sign that flashed Cupcake Carnival in hand-drawn letters. Granite Jack lugged cinder blocks to anchor pastel tablecloths against the breeze. Madame Mirage, upon witnessing a crooked pastry tower, clucked and conjured just enough illusionary bunting to make everything appear symmetrical. Old habits died politely, none of them worried about the batter. Ignacio's great-grandtia had left a recipe safe in the family for 2 centuries. The trouble came with the special zest. Back when Volta terrorized megacities, he'd engineered elemental conduits, vials of concentrated flavorless tachyon syrup, able to reorient electromagnetic fields. He stored the milky liquid in ampules that looked unsettlingly like vanilla extract bottles. For years, they'd gathered dust inside his lab next to artisanal sea salt and dinosaur egg fossils. When Volta volunteered to bake, he grabbed the wrong crate. He discovered the mistake at 2 a.m., after several test batches already cooling on racks. The cupcakes tasted marvelous. Silky crumb, high domes, zero hint of cosmic radiation. Faced with the choice of dumping a dozen perfect trays or pretending ignorance, Volta rationalized, "I tune the conduits to my own biofrequency. The odds that random civilians resonate are infinitesimal." He convinced himself, sealed the boxes, and drove them to the parish by dawn. The sale began like every wholesome montage. Little League teams danced past, inhaling sugar before warm-ups. Retirees with rolling totes sniffed for gluten-free options. Even Father McCrary blessed the cash box and posed for selfies with Granite Jack, who attempted a smile but looked more like Granite discovering grief. Corsa offered 6 signature flavors. 1. Lavender Lullaby, tinted periwinkle, swirled with honey cream frosting and edible violet petals. 2. Red Hot Raspberry, a crimson cake with raspberry chipotle filling and candied jalapeno shards. 3. Midnight Mocha Espresso Sponge, dark ganache, dusted in black cocoa. 4. Sunshine Lemon Zest, bright yellow crumb, lemon curd core, meringue flame. 5. Pistachio Perception, pistachio butter cake, aquamarine buttercream, crushed nuts shimmering like emerald dust. 6. Caramel Commotion, brown sugar cake, salted caramel center, caramel corn crown. Eleanor had arranged the display so colors advanced from soothing pastels to carnival neons, a small psychological nudge of comfort to excitement. She beamed as customers exchanged crumpled bills for pastry boxes. The cash box bulged within 30 minutes. Shortly thereafter, the world tilted. First manifestation, Lavender Lullaby. 12-year-old Josie Alvarez bit into her lavender cupcake near the playground. The icing melted cool and floral, and she sighed, lulled by unexpected calm. A bully snatched the treat from Josie's little brother Hugo, who started wailing. Josie placed a hand on Hugo's shoulder, and the boy's tantrum dissolved as quickly as a sugar flake. Around them, parents argued about stroller rights-of-ways, but when Josie stepped closer, Every quarrel stalled, replaced by mellow smiles, as gentle as lavender fields at dusk. Second manifestation, red-hot raspberry coach Miller, abstaining from sugar for 2 decades, succumbed to the beguiling scent of raspberry chipotle rising through spring air. One bite. Flames danced across his tongue, literal flames. A crimson aura flared around Miller's jersey. Startled, he fumbled his water bottle, which boiled midair. He sneezed, and twin fireballs spiraled into the sky, popping like July fireworks. Third manifestation, Midnight Mocha teenager Caleb Watkins. Devoured Midnight Mocha under the church's bell tower, chasing caffeine for his calculus cram session. He blinked, and daylight sucked away from him as though someone dimmed reality. His shadow elongated, swirled, then peeled off the pavement entirely, stretching upright until it mirrored him in pitch-black silhouette. When Caleb stepped forward, his shadow double prowled beside him, mimicking movements with a half-second delay. Within 15 minutes, the parish parking lot resembled an amateur superhero convention. Eleanor, Ignacio, and Jack convened behind the lemonade dispenser. "This is why I keep spreadsheets," Dr. Volta whispered, dread dripping from each syllable. "I had dose calculations. My conduit should be inert by now." Jack crossed his arms like boulders. "Inert? Ignacio, you turned Coach Miller into a propane tank." Eleanor pinched the bridge of her nose beneath a tiny fascinator. "We swore off villainy. Accidentally distributing powers via pastries violates at least 3 parole clauses and several health codes. But look around," Volta countered. "No one's screaming, there's wonder in their eyes." Indeed there was. Parents gawked as toddlers wearing lemon zest grins projected blinding beams at ants, performing impromptu light shows. Senior citizens who'd sampled pistachio perception predicted raffle numbers with uncanny accuracy, and the caramel commotion contingent mostly giggling middle schoolers found they could accelerate any motion they touched. Spinning hula hoops, yo-yos, roaming Roombas someone donated for e-waste recycling. Chaos, yes, but not catastrophe yet. Eleanor considered her options. They could flee, leaving Father McCreary to host impromptu confessionals for pyrokinetic soccer coaches, or they could own the mess and perhaps redeem themselves genuinely. "New plan, gentlemen," she declared. "We manage this. No witness gets hurt. Then we reveal the truth, accept blame, and demonstrate how thoroughly we've changed." Jack raised an eyebrow chiseled from hillside. "Sounds heroic." "Desperately so," Eleanor sighed. "But perhaps rehabilitation requires a heroic act, whether or not we wear capes." Phase 1, Containment. Eleanor stepped onto a picnic table, cupped hands at her mouth, and amplified her voice with a micro-illusion that sounded like a calm PA announcer echoing through a stadium. "Dear friends, welcome to the Cupcake Carnival Power Showcase." Murmurs hushed. People formed a semicircle around the table, enthralled more by their own newfound abilities than her charismatic projection. "For everyone's safety, kindly group yourselves by cupcake flavor. Lavender lullabies to the left, your tranquility will come in handy. Red-hot raspberries to the right, please form a line away from flammables. The fire department is on hold. Midnight mochas at the back, shadows look superb in that shaded courtyard, sunshine lemon zest attendees. Gather under the trees, that glow is gorgeous. Pistachio perception profits. If you foresee someone forgetting sunscreen, alert them. Caramel commotion crew. High energy area beside the basketball hoop." She ended with a modest bow. Remarkably, people complied. The subtle hypnotic cadence she'd once used to distract casino guards remained persuasive but harmless. Meanwhile, Volta sprinted to his van, rummaging through boxes. "I can synthesize dampeners. We reverse the polarity of the conduits. If we bake another batch, slightly overbake to burn off sugar but leave residue, ingesting could neutralize." "Baby." He caught Jack's stony glare. "Okay, 50-50. Jack cracked his knuckles. "We need ovens. Church kitchen?" Madame Mirage nodded. "And ingredients." "We're out of eggs." Jack grinned, the peculiarity of a mountain learning joy. "I know a guy." Phase 2, Procurement. The church kitchen was locked. Jack inhaled, then exhaled at the door. Hinges squealed open, metal bending like warm pretzel dough. Madame Mirage tisked. Subtle. Inside the industrial kitchen gleamed 6 convection ovens, bulk flour sacks, Volta laid out tools with surgeon precision. We'll make neutralizer nibbles, simple shortbread base. Tachyon dampener folded into lemon peel to mask bitterness. They still needed eggs, butter, more sugar. Jack left and returned with grocery bags in under 8 minutes. Did you pay? Eleanor asked. Scout honor. Jack produced a wallet stuffed with receipts. Self-checkout lines fear me. Eleanor smiled. If the world could see Granite Jack, once a skyscraper toppling mercenary politely scanning coupons, maybe redemption wasn't impossible. Phase 3? Distraction. While Doe chilled, Eleanor orchestrated carnival games outside to occupy superpowered civilians. She supplied illusions of giant inflatable targets for lemon zest kids to spotlight. She conjured holographic fire hoops for red-hot raspberries to launch controlled bursts. Midnight mochas raced their spectral shadows through obstacle courses, discovering they could tag intangible duplicates to pass through walls. Lavender lullabies mediated when caramel commotion kids accidentally accelerated a wheelchair into the pastor's rosebed. Eleanor moved like a maestro, weaving safety nets of light and suggestion. Each mishap resolved with laughter and applause. If anyone questioned how displays materialized, they assumed it was part of their powers, not her enduring craft. Then the trouble arrived. Mayor Penelope Hartwell and Chief of Police Rourke marched across the lot, trailed by 2 reporters with cameras already rolling. Eleanor's heart skipped. Public officials meant heightened scrutiny, records checks, possibly ankle monitor beeps. She approached with her warmest PTA smile. Welcome. Please do enjoy a frisbee launched by a hyperspin cameral kid ricocheted off a trash can, zoomed upward, and sliced the neon Cupcake carnival sign. Sparks rained onto Chief Rourke's polished shoes. Ma'am, the chief growled, explain what the blazes is happening. Volta burst from the kitchen doors, flour dust clouding his lab coat. He carried trays of bite-sized pale cookies. Sampling station, he cried, perhaps too loudly. Eleanor seized the moment. Free palate cleansers prepared by our volunteer chem chef. She passed Mayor Hartwell a nibble. The mayor, ever eager for photo ops, nibbled thoughtfully. Quite plain, Rourke refused. I don't eat uninspected bake sale goods. From the courtyard, Coach Miller's pyra sneeze ignited a bench. Rourke gaped, reaching for his radio. Before he could bark orders, Mayor Hartwell's shoulders slumped, eyes fluttering. She exhaled as if waking from hypnosis. Chief, hold that call. Rourke stared. Madam Mayor. Hartwell turned, scanned the flamboyant scene. Children glowing, grandmothers predicting raffle numbers yet. Spoke tranquil as a monk. I feel remarkably centered. Lavender lullaby teen Josie Alvarez had drifted near the dignitaries. Her calm field mingled with whatever subtle nullification the cookie provided, creating near euphoric composure. The mayor tucked a stray hair. Let's observe before panicking. Eleanor almost wept with gratitude. Phase 4, distribution. The team needed everyone to ingest neutralizer nibbles. Volta donned latex gloves and slid trays onto serving carts. Granite Jack became roaming vendor, bellowing, "Cleanse your palate! Free cookies, courtesy of Corsair Community Outreach Retiree Service Association!" Toddlers scarfed them instantly. Teens hesitated until told cookies enhanced powers. Adults, suspicious, waited for social proof. Eleanor provided that proof with illusions. She made it seem as if each person's aura brightened briefly after a bite. A placebo flourish that spurred the skeptical. As the afternoon sun dropped, a subtle transformation rippled. Lemon zest kids' beams faded from lighthouse intensity to flickering flashlights. Raspberry flames cooled to wisps. Midnight shadow doubles merged back with original outlines, like ink soaking into paper. None of it seemed painful powers simply ebbed to memory. Not everyone welcomed return to normalcy. Caleb Watkins lamented losing his shadow twin before he'd persuaded it to do algebra homework. Coach Miller sighed at extinguished pyrotechnics. His Little League team had already designed a fiery mascot routine. But relief largely outweighed regret. No property damage beyond scorched bench and demolished rose bed. No injuries except a minor sunburn predicted by pistachio profits before neutralization. Eleanor, Ignacio, and Jack congregated near closing time beside empty cupcake stands. Crimson twilight painted rust across the blacktop. "We did it," Ignacio whispered. "Depowered an entire neighborhood without resorting to evil ray guns." Jack chuckled. "And made decent money." He rattled the cash box. $732.41, his coupons included. Eleanor allowed herself a small, triumphant smirk, then noticed Chief Rourke approaching, with notebook in hand. The mayor trailed him, wearing the same beatific calm, though her neutralizer likely wore off by now. "Ma'am," Rourke said, "we need statements. Several citizens claimed they had superpowers after eating your cupcakes." Eleanor inhaled. Here came reckoning. She considered allusions to obscure faces, portals to vanish, but her shoulders squared. "No shortcuts, not anymore. Chief," she began, "my colleagues and I were formerly engaged in less than legal activities. In retiring, we intended to foster goodwill. Due to an ingredient error," she shot Ignacio a glance with edges, "we accidentally imbued pastries with volatile energies. Upon discovering this, we crafted neutralization cookies. Powers dissipated and we monitored safely. We accept responsibility and any legal consequences," she exhaled. Granite Jack nodded somberly. Dr. Volta removed his goggles, eyes sincere as unpolished copper. Mayor Hartwell placed a hand on Rourke's notepad. "Chief, I witnessed their response. They managed a potentially catastrophic event with composure. No hospitalizations, minimal damage. I propose we classify it as an unforeseen chemical reaction under City Ordinance 12F regarding vendor liabilities. A formal fine and safety workshop should suffice." Rourke looked as though someone suggested kittens replace SWAT. "Madam Mayor, these individuals are convicted felons." "Retired felons," she corrected. "And today their quick actions prevented havoc. Let's encourage reformation, not hinder it." The chief grumbled, but relented. Hartwell turned to Eleanor. "There will be an investigation, but I could use consultants for municipal disaster preparedness. People with experience anticipating unconventional threats." Eleanor blinked. "Consultants? You'd be paid, of course." Hartwell continued, "To design protocols for spontaneous empowerment events, coordinate citizen safety, considerate community service with stipend." She smiled. "I like lavender, by the way. Shame the cupcakes are gone." Ignacio nudged Eleanor. "We still have batter, minus conduit residue." Granite Jack shrugged. "And stores still open for eggs." Eleanor's lips parted into true delight. "Mayor Hartwell, we'd be honored to assist. First lesson free." Epilogue. 1 week later, Corsa's headquarters, formerly Jack's unfinished basement, now sported new windows, ferns, and an official plaque. Community Outreach Response and Safety. Amagency. They kept the acronym. Branding mattered. They held nightly drills, how to redirect rogue telekinetics with foam darts, how to de-escalate pyrokinetics via breathing exercises. Josie Alvarez, the lavender empath, attended as junior counselor, her natural calm invaluable. Coach Miller volunteered as fitness advisor, fire-free. On Fridays, they still baked. Flavors rotated, but each batch underwent strict scanning via Volta's spectral analyzers. Whenever they delivered goods to shelters or school fundraisers, parents welcomed them, photographers snapped pictures, and no one crossed the street anymore. One evening, after the last dish was washed, Eleanor sat with Ignacio and Jack on the front stoop, watching clouds bruise purple over the horizon. "Strange," Ignacio mused. "We spent decades craving domination. Now I feel more powerful teaching evacuation routes." Jack stretched, vertebrae cracking like tectonic plates. "Turns out I prefer building to breaking." Eleanor sipped tea lightly spiked with not tachyon, just chamomile. "Our villainous selves wanted to be seen as extraordinary. Perhaps the real feat is proving we can be ordinary and still matter." Sirens wailed distantly downtown. Jack's phone buzzed. A group text from Mayor Hartwell, possible chemical truck spill near the river, requesting Corsa assistance for crowd control. Eleanor stood, smoothed her blazer. "Timing, gentlemen," she said, recalling her maxim. "Let's not keep destiny waiting." They climbed into Jack's renovated cement mixer. now painted Cupcake pink with lavender trim. As they rolled toward another chance at redemption, Eleanor opened her window, letting night air whip through silver hair. It smelled faintly of sugar and second chances, a fragrance sweeter than any frosting the reformed scoundrels had ever conjured, and potent enough, perhaps, to grant powers of its own.